Good Wednesday afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network. Normally on Wednesdays, I don't have Donald Eng alongside of me. I'm Rob Adams, but today I do. Don, how are you?
It's a special day.
It is. It's a special edition of Nutmeg Sports here on the HAN Network. We're glad you're along with us. Of course, FC Actor got underway yesterday with 3 stops. We went to Norwalk High School, Brian McMahon High School, and Staples High School, but we'll come back around to that along with some other goodies as we move through this program. But we start with not only a special guest, but special guests and a pretty cool thing that we're doing.
It is a really cool thing. You know, one of the things that we noticed last week was, the social media stir caused by a local group of high school students. The Hill House Band was, they were featured. A lot of the things they were up in Providence. They played Yale to an upset of Baylor University, and then got to come back for a second-round game. And they're joining us now, led by Director Marissa Yetzi. Guys, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Hi, we're excellent. Thank you.
Marissa, thank you so much for joining us. From your perspective as band director, take me through the process of going up to Providence and what it was all like.
Well, heading to Providence, we had no idea what to expect. I've never been to an NCAA tournament, never mind to be able to play at one, nor have any of our students. So we had no idea what was in store for us. But as soon as we got there, we went through the check-in and whatnot, and we got to the stadium. We went to go look inside, and the students, they were in front of me, and they turned around, and their faces were, I can't even describe them. They were unbelievable. They were like, "Miss, there's so many people here." And I saw like a look of terror and excitement at the same time. It was kind of spectacular.
How did this all come to be?
Coach James Jones had requested that our band play they called Yale Athletics called me up, and they asked if we would be able to play during the regular season, and we agreed to do 3 games during the regular season. And from there, I guess Yale's band was on spring break, so they were not able to go to the NCAA tournament, and we were asked to fill in for them. And we are very grateful for the Yale Athletic Department for doing so. And obviously we love the Yale band as well, but we're so excited to have this opportunity.
Okay, now you have some of your musicians there with you. Why don't you introduce them?
Sure. I have O.C. Gay and Zoe James, and I also have Amber Green, and they are musicians in the band. I will give you the mic to Amber Green first.
Okay. So, Amber.
Hello.
Hi, Amber.
How you doing?
Hi.
So, Amber, now you guys had been playing, as Marissa mentioned, you'd played 3 college games before at Yale, but I imagine there's a big difference between playing, Yale versus Cornell, and then walking into the arena, 14,000 people, ESPN trucks outside. Tell us what that was like when you walked in.
Well, when we went to the check-in, I had no idea what to do. Even I had to give my trumpet away to some stranger and walk through a security thing, and and then I went into the stadium. It's just so many people, and they decided it was a good idea to put the actual attendance of all the people up on the mega screen. Over 11,600 people were there, and I had to know the exact number, and I was so nervous. And I felt the need that I really needed to play perfectly.
Well, Amber, we're sure you played perfectly, but in your own mind, how do you block out the crowd and just focus on playing the song you're supposed to play?
Well, I just had to realize that we're all in a band, and the people don't see us as individuals; they see us as the band. So, I had to realize our unity, and I just didn't want to let my friends down, let alone the crowd, just my friends, everyone who's there. We're all supporting each other, and we all decided that we were going to do our best, and that's what we did.
Right. Now you guys can take these questions, whoever wants to answer. But what was that feeling like? Also, the first time the television cable news camera is panning over the Hill House band. What's going through your head there as you're watching, as this game is playing, and then all of a sudden you start to get the feeling that, well, wow, Yale might actually win this game.
I was extremely excited. Very excited. I've never really been to any real sports games or anything before, but I actually felt very happy about all of this.
No, that's great. Why don't you pass the phone along to one of the others so we can speak to somebody else? But Amber, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Your turn.
We're talking with the members of the Hill House Band, by the way, on Nutmeg Sports, who had the chance to perform for Yale at the NCAA tournament. Who's on the phone now?
Zoe.
Hey, Zoe, how are you? Now, you play the cymbals, correct?
Yes.
All right, take me through your process of being up there and what was it all like for you and, crashing those cymbals in front of not only the thousands of people in that arena, but the thousands of people watching on TV, millions to be exact.
Wow, I didn't think there was going to be millions of people watching me.
Luckily, no one told her that before the performance.
Exactly.
No one, because I'm like, I'm not a big sports fan, so like, I didn't really realize how many people would watch it. But the experience for me was like a once in a lifetime right there. I was right in the front, so right by the camera people, and I guess apparently the camera guy loves me because there's so many off-guard photos of me leaked on Facebook that people seem to tag me into, and I'm not proud of those photos.
Those screenshots are dangerous.
Yeah.
Well, what was it like? Speaking of being on Facebook and being on social media, I mean, I noticed you guys were really embraced by like the Duke University marching band, the Baylor University marching band. They really kind of accepted you as being part of the whole NCAA tournament experience. That must have been a great feeling for you guys.
Yeah, that was because at first they thought we were Yale's band, so it was kind of impressive to be like mistaken for a college band when we're only a high school.
Hey, you know what? For a weekend, you were Yale's marching band, and I don't think there's any question about that. Zoe, we're going to have you pass the phone along, but thank you for a couple of minutes as well.
Okay, sure.
As we continue to speak with members of the Hill House Marching Band here on Nutmeg Sports, Rob and Don with you. And that should lead us to Osi. Are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Hey, how are you? Now, you play the clarinet, correct?
Yes, you're correct.
All right. Now, are you a sports fan to begin with?
Yes, I'm a huge sports fan.
So,
I literally watch sports every single day.
So this was a big deal for you?
Yes, I know how much of a big atmosphere it is to be at March Madness, and to be playing during March Madness was incredible.
Did you feel any pressure?
Yes, I felt all the pressure because I felt like we had to play so perfectly and amazingly so we can come back again.
And, of course, Yale had to play pretty perfectly as well, which they did against Baylor. And, hey, they hung in there against Duke. I think that's fair to say.
Yeah. If only the comeback was a little bit more, we could have won.
You know, I was just thinking that because, I mean, Baylor is a respected program. RG3 went there.
That's right.
But then you come back 2 days later and you walk out onto the court and it's Duke. You had to be like, are you kidding me? Duke in the NCAA tournament?
When I found out it was Duke, I was so mad.
You were mad? Why were you mad?
Because I know how good Duke basketball team is, and all the NBA players right now to come out of Duke is like a lot. So
So you were enjoying your experience playing in the NCAA tournament. You wanted a couple more games.
Yeah, I wanted a lot more games.
But that the house band is pretty good. I mean, it sounds like you did a great job. You're always performing in one form or another, and it looks like it all went pretty well for you.
Yep, thanks.
Well, that is fantastic. We will let you hand the phone back off to Marissa. But, Osi, thank you very much, and congratulations on the great experience.
Thanks. Hi.
Hi, Marissa. For you, how many of these students will go on and try to continue playing, whether it's in college or somewhere else?
I believe a lot of them have showed interest. A lot of them have expressed interest to me in either going on to study music in college, whether it be a major or a minor in school. A lot of them have, I've had like a good number of them express interest in music education and becoming a band director themselves, which is such a compliment. But we have a lot of students that are very interested in pursuing music in college. So, which is why I try to make our band more of a college level band for, being a high school, but especially for sports. So.
Sure. And of course, the feedback must have been great that you've gotten. As I mentioned, you've got a fan there in the Baylor band, the Duke band are both fans of yours. One thing I did want to ask, last thing from me, I know I had seen on social media that you guys are actually fundraising right now because being a city band, you have some challenges that maybe Duke University doesn't. Tell us a little bit about that. I guess you're looking for help with some of your musicians, with instruments, things like that.
Well, being an inner city school, it's always tough, to raise money for instruments and to have instrument repair and to have the instruments ready for all of the students that are interested in our program. So with that being said, we do fundraise. Right now we're using Donors Choose. And if you Donors Choose, and I believe you can look up like in New Haven high schools. We're one of the only ones that are on there. And my name is Miss Yetzi, it's spelled with an I, and you can find our Donors Choose on there. We're always putting something else up because we're constantly fundraising for to better our program. My program is growing consistently, so it's just sometimes we don't have the instruments for the students that we have. I might have more kids than I have actual physical instruments. So, and the one thing I would hate is for it to turn down a student because we don't have the instrument for them. I'm so proud of these kids and all of their hard work. They're always working. They practice every single week, and they perform every single month. They deserve the best.
No, they do for sure, and congratulations on this great experience.
You.
They're really remarkable young people to talk to, and by all means, reach out to us again. Come on with us anytime. You're more than welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you all as well, and again, congratulations to the Hill House Marching Band.
There's the bell.
Then there you go. Perfectly said. Thanks again.
Perfect timing.
We'll let them run.
Take care now.
We'll take a break here on Nutmeg Sports. We'll continue with more of the program right after this on the HAN Network.
Here at the Darien Sports Shop, we are very excited about our newly redesigned men's department. Gentlemen, if you're shopping for work, weekend, or wedding, we've got the latest styles and trends inside our spacious new department just for you. We have vast selections from Peter Millar, Vineyard Vines, Johnny O, Duckhead, Barber, and so much more. And you can even walk out of the store in the new Wolverine 1,000-mile men's boot. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
Can't wait for it to get warmer so you can start fishing again? Get over to the Dock Shop, where they have the latest in fishing tackle, marine electronics, boating supplies, and more. But remember, the Dock Shop isn't your average tackle shop. You'll also find the finest selection of nautical apparel, jewelry, home decor, and gifts in New England. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
I'm Kate Chaplinsky. Join us for Coffee Break, weekdays at 11 to get the latest Connecticut news, weather, high school sports, and more. News doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break on the HAN Network.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. 102,000 viewers have enjoyed the HAN Network in just the last 6 weeks. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Back with you on Nutmeg Sports, and again, thanks to Don, helped set that all up, but a great job, and great job by Eric Gendron as well to help organize the whole thing. Really fun talking with all of them from Hill House. James Hill House High School is the proper name of it, of course, but what an experience to go. Think about it this way. They basically were Yale's marching band. They don't need to say they were a high school band. They were Yale's marching band for 2 games, and Yale almost came back on the Duke Blue Devils and moved on in the NCAA tournament. But nonetheless, we move on this edition of the show, and we have plenty of baseball we can talk about. We have plenty of things we can talk about. The FCAC Tour is off and running. We began it yesterday, which is why we had no show. 3 stops, as I mentioned during the program. Brian McMahon, Norwalk, and Staples High School, all nice enough to have some time with us, and some 22, 23 interviews by the time it was all over, with a whole bunch of students talking to. And we'll get right back on the road next week, which is why we will have no shows for next week. We won't be back, in fact, until, I believe, April 5th, I want to say. It'll be a Tuesday that we'll be back in business here on Nutmeg Sports. But with that said, we do have a couple of interviews that we can run for you. Our first game broadcast will be April 2nd when we see the Brian McMahon Senators visiting the Norwalk Bears at their brand new baseball field. So why don't we have a chat with some of the ball players from Norwalk and McMahon right now. It's fitting we're at Brian McMahon High School and that this is our first interview for the spring FCAC Tour. I'm Rob Adams, because our first game broadcast features the Brian McMahon Senators baseball team on April 2nd. We're going to let these guys introduce themselves as they get ready and all trained up and set to go to play the Norwalk Bears in early April. We'll start over here.
How's it going? My name is Jeff Vitito, varsity pitcher.
My name is Hunter Dumas. I play center.
Richard Clemens, left field.
Matt Gallius, first baseman and pitcher.
Wadi Almonte, shortstop and second base.
Joe Marte, catcher and fielder.
All right, off we go. Jeff, you're up first. 2 years on this team, a pitcher. What's your fun fact that you wrote down?
Fun fact. A fun fact that I wrote down is probably last year on senior night when I slipped on the mound covering a bunt play at home.
And what happened there?
We got the out. Hunter screamed at me, throw the ball home instead of first base, and saved a run.
All right, nicely done. We move over now to Hunter. And Hunter, by the way, just literally before we started this, you created a Twitter handle. Way to go. All right, what's the Twitter handle for the world?
mbase2k16. Follow me. I'll follow back.
Done. We'll do it after the interview. You guys all went to Cooperstown last year. What was that experience like?
Well, it was my first time being in Cooperstown. I liked it. It was good competition. We ended up beating Norwalk High, I think 8-3 was it? Yeah. And yeah, I thought it was pretty fun on the way back. Norwalk High didn't talk, and like we just, laughed at them the whole ride there.
I think it was 7-3, but we'll double check that. All right, we move on to Richard. Now, I don't know. We'll double check. RC3, we're going to talk to him next. What is it about country music and baseball?
Everybody makes fun of me for it, but there's something about country music and baseball that it just goes together for me. It just gets me in the mood like I'm ready to go. Country music and baseball's just my thing. I'm every game, country music. Every game.
It's as American as apple pie, so they say. All right, what is the game plan for this year? I mean, you guys have to have some high hopes, I think, right?
Yeah, coming back from last year, we lost a lot of seniors, but we have a lot of young players that are going to step up, play varsity, compete at this level, and hopefully make FCX and states. Always
wearing your gold chain, right?
Always wearing a gold chain. Lucky charm.
In fact, I can see it from here. All right, looks good. We move over to Woody. And, you always have to have your arm sleeve. Or what? I'm sorry, Wadi. I misread it. But why? Why the arm sleeve?
I feel like a baseball player, when they're playing, they always have to look their best. And I mean, like, when I have my arm sleeve on, like, swagged out, looks good. Looks good, I play good.
And he said to me right before the interview, everybody always says my name wrong, and I just went and misread it. Sorry, Wadi. All right, we move over to our last victim, the catcher. What are you guys going to look forward to this year?
Well, I feel like this year we have a great group of guys, some seniors, a good mix of juniors and younger guys too, so I feel like we could have a good year.
And there's a good reason. I can tell you why. I mean, Big Poppy, there's no doubt. I mean, that's a perfect nickname for you.
Follow me on Instagram, that's fine.
Follow him. Well, you got to write it on the sheet. We'll get you checked out there. All right. Hey, you guys have a great season. We will see you on April 2nd. Now we're going to go see McMahon in a little bit, so they're going to be ready to beat you guys as well. But baseball season, or Norwalk rather, we'll see Norwalk High a little bit later. Going to be a lot of fun, but a big season for you guys, right?
We're definitely got big hopes. We're ready. We're hungry. Sleep Squad.
Sleep Squad 16.
They're ready. We're ready. We'll be there on April 2nd. These guys are more Norwalk High. We're rather McMahon High. We will see Norwalk in a little bit, but nonetheless, we'll see them all on April 2nd right here on the HAN Network. Talk baseball here at Norwalk High School with Frank Granito. I'm Rob Adams. Time to talk to the Bears. We'll let them introduce themselves, and then we'll chat with them. We'll start right here.
Eddie O'Hara.
And I'm Alex Barone.
All right, Eddie, I'll start with you. You've been around this program a couple of years now. What are you guys looking forward to coming into this year?
Well, we have a lot of returning starters from last year, so we hope to improve on last season and hopefully make a nice run this year.
Alex, what are a couple of the big games you guys have got mapped out right now on the calendar?
Obviously, the McMahon game is always a big game for us, but this year we are playing Staples, who knocked us out of the state semifinals last year, so that's going to be a big game. And we picked up Prep this year, Fairfield Prep, so that's going to be a big game as well because they're always a good team.
I feel like Eddie and I have gotten to know each other a little bit. It wasn't all that long ago. We were sitting basically next to each other at the FCAC Basketball Championship, and now I look down at his sheet. You have done this a couple of times. We've chatted before.
Yeah, I was at the football and basketball one, so it's my third one.
You're getting used to doing this.
Yeah.
You know, what about this new field you're going to play on this year? Does it take getting used to playing on a turf field and being on a new facility?
Well, it's definitely different from a grass normal field, but with a new field, we feel like we can bring like a new type of energy to our team and like a new field, like it's a fresh start almost.
Alex, this is a very storied program, Norwalk baseball, up there with the best in the FCAC. What makes this team special and you think will give you guys a big chance at a run this year?
Well, we've got a lot of returning seniors, as Eddie said, and overall we just have a lot of experience because even the kids that aren't seniors, the guys that aren't seniors, they're returning players, you know what I mean? So we've got a lot of returning starters. We only graduated 2 starting seniors last year, so we got a couple spots to fill, but other than that, we're looking very experienced and pretty talented this year, so looking pretty good.
We're going to help these guys break in the new field for opening day on April 2nd when they take on Brian McMahon. We'll also see him on April 11th when they go and play over at Trinity Catholic High School. So looking forward to a big season from a team that we saw play at Cooperstown, New York last year, and we want to see them have a big year as well. These are the Norwalk Bears, the baseball team, with us here on the HAN Network. We thank both schools for joining us, both teams for joining us as well, and we'll see them at 11 o'clock on Saturday morning, April 2nd. We have to take a time out here on Nutmeg Sports. We'll come back. A couple of other things we have to bounce around. We'll do that right after this on the HAN Network.
Had a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or go to coastalorthoexpress.com. That's coastalorthoexpress.com. Like them on Facebook.
Walter Stewart's Market in New Canaan is your time-saving local shopping destination for the best of spring. Find many of your favorite products, from great specials on everyday items to the freshest organic produce, artisanal cheeses, and grass-fed steaks. Drop off your knives to be sharpened, grab a beautiful bouquet of spring flowers, and stop in next door for a wine tasting. Plus, their personable staff is always ready to lend a helping hand. So stop in to Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street today, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
For over 25 years, Mike Cizik Painting and Wallpapering has been the name to know for residential and commercial properties in Fairfield County. He uses only the top brands, including Benjamin Moore, for impeccable preparation and lasting quality. Call Mike now and receive $500 off any job over $7,000. Mike is currently accepting reservations for spring, so call him today at 203-770-8869 or 203-972-3310. For your custom painting, finishing, and staining needs, it's Mike Cizik.
Denali is your outdoor retail destination in the Westfield Trumbull Mall. For the last 21 years, we have carefully selected clothing, footwear, and gear from a variety of the best outdoor brands, such as the North Face, Patagonia, Vineyard Vines, UGG, Merrell, GoPro, New Balance, and many more. Our stores have a friendly, knowledgeable staff to help you with all of your running, hiking, and cold weather needs, and in discovering all things outdoorsy and awesome. Visit us in the Westfield Trumbull Mall or online at DenaliOutdoor.com.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune into Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN Network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
Welcome back to Nutmeg Sports for a Wednesday. I'm Rob Adams. Again, no shows next week. We're going to take next week off to hit the road for the FCAC Tour. The studio will be closed. However, we'll be posting content throughout the week. Of course, the interviews that you'll see from the HAN FCAC Tour. Very excited to get back out there and do that, meet all the schools and say hi to all the athletes. But also, Kate and maybe myself as well will be posting some videos. Kate will certainly be putting up some coffee break news updates as the week moves along. So a few other things we want to get to before we say goodbye today. Some of it not so good, some of it just fine. How about Kurt Casale playing yesterday down in Havana, Cuba? He did have a single, went 1 for 1. Of course, having a decent spring so far, only 15 at-bats, 5 for 15, but getting to play in that game yesterday, huge crowd in Cuba, and of course a game that baseball, of course, to Latin America is such a big deal to begin with, but the idea of playing it in Cuba where, of course, Louis Tiant and many others have come from Cuba and have had stellar baseball careers, so to have that game there yesterday in front of course, President Obama, Derek Jeter, Joe Torre, some of the other big names, and of course the great Louis Tiant on hand as well against the Cuban national team. The Tampa Bay Rays did win that game 4-0, so that's pretty exciting stuff. Then we have the story of Mike Vizdo, the one-time Weston head coach, and I say one time because he has resigned. Apparently did so in an email last week. Remember, this is a coach that 3 years ago now, took his team, took the Trojans to the state championship game, lost to Valley Regional, but that was all part of such a hectic year. He had initially been involved many years ago in an R-rated movie that got pushed along to and exposed to some of the Board of Education and whatnot. The coach resigned at that time, but through various channels made his way back and eventually coached the team to that state championship run. But in reading the various stories out there about Coach Vizdo, he said it was just time to move along, and he said he will coach again. Although under 500 for his career, Weston not known for being a big basketball school, but they did get to that Class M championship game where they lost to Valley Regional 3 years ago. And then there is the not-so-good news about Craig Sager. Of course, a bit of a national nugget for us here on Nutmeg Sports, but when members of our broadcasting community have something happen, we certainly want to pass it along. The story coming out last night via HBO, of course, Craig Sager works for TNT and for Turner, and that he has, according to doctors right now, only 3 to 6 months to live with acute myeloid leukemia, which is an aggressive type of cancer. But in his statement, he says, and I quote, "The typical prognosis is 3 to 6 months to live, but I would like to stress that is for a patient who is not receiving treatment. Fortunately, I am receiving the best treatment in the world, and I remain fully confident I will win this battle." Craig Sager is a name in a line of flashier journalists, if you will. A solid journalist for sure. Flashy in terms of his appearance. If you've seen him at an NBA game or baseball that he did for many years, among other sports, you saw the flashy outfits, the wild jackets and suits and so on. His conversations with San Antonio Spurs head coach Greg Popovich were appointment TV for sure, and we certainly hope there are many more appointments to be had with Craig Sags, and with Pops as well, to have those two talk again. He is in that line of, Lindsey Nelson with his loud jackets from the Mets and CBS Sports for so many years, and of course Don Cherry, the hockey broadcaster from Canada. So without a doubt, we wish Craig Sager the best for sure, but keep fighting, Craig Sager, and keep it going for Turner Sports and for all of us sports fans. May you have many more broadcasts for sure. Certainly not the best of news, but we keep our fingers crossed. Quick show has gone right on by for this week, and our thanks to Marissa, Osi, Zoe, and Amber, all from Hill House High School, and to Don Eng as well, and Eric Gendron. We kind of roped him in at the last minute to help throw this show together, so we're all grateful for a pretty darn good show. Like I said, off for a bit, and in fact, we'll be back after we're off and running with baseball season, which begins, before you know it, April 2nd, that first broadcast. Brian McMahon and Norwalk, a game that we saw about a year ago up in Cooperstown, New York. Those two teams ready to get it going. We thank them as well for joining us on this edition of Nutmeg Sports. That will do it for the program. Back with you in April. Looking forward to that. Don will be back. We'll see Dave again as well. For Donald Eng and for Eric Gendron, I'm Rob Adams. Enjoy your day, enjoy your weekend, and of course, coffee break tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. Thanks for watching Nutmeg Sports on the HAN Network. See you, everyone.